Hello, my name's Tim and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at the new Killer song, My Own Soul's Warning, and we're going to get straight into it. So it starts off with this big synth intro, and then there's a little guitar line that comes in right at the very start, which is... which is a nice little line. So what that is, it starts off the 10th fret on the B string, and the tricky thing about this is it fades in, so it's really difficult to pick out that first beat, but I'm starting it on the 10th fret on the B string, double pick, 12th fret on the G, 12th fret on the B, and you're just kind of motifing those notes. Yeah, there you go, so that's what you got there for the intro. There we go. And then it comes in, the chords come in with this really nice little synthesizer line, and the chords underneath are just playing a D chord. You can play D or D power chord. Down to C. So what we're doing there is we're just playing a C chord, and we're kind of just moving our bass note down from C to B. And back up to D. Let me just play it through. So I'll play it through. This is what it sounds like. And then you're into the verse, and it's just the bass which takes that same pattern and runs through the verse. It feels like the start of every kind of cycle of 4 is a different chord. So you do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. And you would think that it would start on D again, but it doesn't, it just goes straight back down to the C. So it kind of threw me a little bit. So that's what's happening there. And then there's a little pickup, which goes into the pre-chorus. So what the guitar's playing, it's playing a G, C, back to this G, down to a D. So what those little shapes are, it's just a D major chord. But you slide it all the way up to the 7th fret. So you've got 7, 8, 7. And you're just playing it that, and that's a G major. I'm just kind of picking a little pattern, something like that. It's very difficult to hear exactly what he's doing, but I'm fairly confident that that's the chord shape that he's playing. I could be playing it here. Same chord. It just feels easier for me to play it here. Then you play a C, which is 8, 8, 9. On the top 3 strings. Down to the G again. Down to a D, which is just 5, 7, 7. And then you do down to a C, which is 3, 5, 5. D, G, B minor, which is just 7, 7, 7. And then a C. And then you're into the chorus, which is the same as the verse, but he just changes the melody, which is the D to C to the little B bit. Goes around that. Same formula, same thing, then it moves down to that C chord. So a little pre-chorus the second time round, there's a distinct pattern which is more like this. So what that is it's the top 2 notes of that G chord. So you're doing 8, 8 on the B, and then 8 on the top E, 7 on the E. that little last bit is just 8, 10 on the B, 7 on the E. And what that is 10 on the B, 8 on the top E, 12 on the B. You could play that 12 on the B, 7 on the E if it's easier. Totally up to you. There's a little build up which goes C, D, G, B minor to C, like we did a little bit earlier. Again, he's just playing the same. That little motif over that build up. And yeah, you're just playing that until you get to the, then you're into the chorus, which we've done numerous times. Then there's this little riff which comes in right at the very end. Which I'm just playing 14th fret on the G, 12th fret on the D. Moving it down a tone. So what that is, the tricky thing about this is I'm doing all alternate picking. So the pattern for it. So let's just slowly. Tone, do the same thing. So it's played over the same chorus, verse chords we do in the D, C to B bit. It's the exact same rhythm. So you just follow that. This follows the bass. So just listen to the bass and see what that's doing. But the picking for it is strict alternate picking. So you're going down, up, down. I've got to try and say it and play it. Down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Tricky to play and sing it. But the tricky thing is you've got to cross strings while still maintaining alternate picking. So you're going down, up, down, up. And you're constantly changing. So this G string, sometimes you're starting it on a downstroke, sometimes you're starting it on an upstroke. So this is working on your inside picking and your outside picking as well. With alternate picking, what you want to make sure is that your wrist, this part of your wrist, isn't tucked into the guitar. It shouldn't be tucked up, it should be kind of out a little bit. So you should be able to see this little part of your wrist. You've got two little bones which run down your wrist. And you should be able to see that when you're alternate picking. So if you're tucking your hand in, you're only going to be able to pick so there's going to be a ceiling to how fast you can pick. So you just want to make sure that that wrist is flexed out a little bit, and you're just. A good thing to practice is just to practice starting with a downstroke on the G string and then an upstroke on the D. You double pick on the D. That's kind of what you're doing. That's kind of what the riff is doing, but there's a little. He doesn't strictly always do it, but you're just going 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, down, up, down, up, down, up. That's the tricky part about this riff. So that's the tricky part. And then you move into, you follow the guitar then follows the synth part. So what that is you come out of that riff. There's actually a little breakdown. Everything stops and you can just hear the guitar going. So what is that? It starts on the 12th fret. You're just playing in octaves. So 12th fret on the A, 14th fret on the G. Those two fingers don't move in terms of strings, but they just move frets. So you've got 12, and you go 10, 12, 14, back to 12, 10, with a slide back to 7. Repeat that little motif. Down to 5, all the way up to 12. There you go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play through the whole song with the Killers version. If YouTube allows me to upload it, it will be afterwards. They might strike me for it, they might tell me to take it down, they might mute it. So if that happens, there won't be a performance of me playing it, because there's loads of little parts and loads of little bits which just kind of need piecing together. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play along to it, and that will be coming up next if they allow me. If not, it will be uploaded without it, unfortunately, and there's not really much I can do about it. But if there is the performance, great, you can just see where all the little bits go. If there's not, you've got a little bit of work to do. So, which is no bad thing, because it's sometimes good for us to not kind of be spoon-fed everything, and we get to use our own ears. So yeah, good, excellent. It's a really cool song. Most of the Killers stuff that has been released in the last 5 to 6 years or so kind of just passed me by, but yeah, I heard this came on the radio, and yeah, radio, yeah, right, Grandpa. I saw it on Facebook, that's the truth. On the radio, listen to the radio, he's a radio. Anyway, yeah. Anyway, cool. Yeah, it was a really fun song to play. There's loads of cool little guitar parts in there. I will endeavour to put a tab up for some of the trickier bits, but I think I've explained them well enough. You can just rewind it, just rewind the video. If you enjoyed this video, you just give it a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. There's going to be loads more content coming up. Yeah, and I will catch you on the next video. All right, see you later. Goodbye.